1980 Coca-Cola Motocross Finals, brought to you from San Diego Stadium in San Diego, California. Good evening, I'm Ted Otto. Tonight from San Diego, California, we'll be showing you highlights of the final event for the 1980 Motorcycle Motocross Championship events. It boils down to a story of two men. Mike Too Tall Bell from Team Yamaha, nicknamed Too Tall for he's 6'3" and the tallest man on the race circuit out here tonight. His closest competitor for the year is Chuck Sun from Team Honda. These two men have been battling it out all season in the stadium events across the country. And it boils down to tonight's final event. Either one of them can walk away with a championship title, the champion motocross motorcycle racer for the year 1980. They're in the starting gates for the first of 4 10-lap qualifying events for the big final. The starting gates fall, and jumping out into the lead, a surprise number 23, young Donnie Cantalupi, a first-year rider on the Yamaha factory team. He got the whole shot and burst into the lead. Second for a few moments was Jeff Jennings, but now moving up to get into second place is the series point leader, Mike Too Tall Bell. Two Yamahas in the lead in the first half of the first lap. Some of the riders having trouble in the rough part of the course. It's Cantalupi taking them into the tornado turn, and Mike Bell trying to get around on the inside. Now switches for the inside of a right-hand turn, and Mike Bell takes over the lead from Donnie Cantalupi. Let's take a look now as they come out of the tornado. Cantalupi in the lead, diving around on the inside of that right turn sweeper is the series point leader, Mike Bell of Yamaha on motorcycle number 3, taking off and sweeping into the lead. A little bit later on in the race as they come over those bone-jarring jumps that are man-made in the bottom of this stadium. It's still Mike Bell into the lead. He's going now over the Himalaya part of the race course and into the sand pit. He likes to take some of these jumps 2 at a time to eliminate running up and down into those deep pits. It's Mike Bell showing his style. He stands very tall on that motorcycle. When he's up on the foot pegs, he is much taller than anybody else on the race course. Now with a very comfortable lead in this very first qualifier, the opening event in tonight's race. He takes the checkered flag, and Mike Bell moves into the lead with this first event. The other riders now crossing the finish line as 5 of them will transfer to tonight's final 20-lap event. 5 riders that move following Mike Bell, who's in first place on his Yamaha, his Suzuki-mounted Darrell Schultz. In third place, Kawasaki's Jeff Ward. Fourth place, Yamaha's Donnie Cantalupi. And fifth, Warren Reed on a Kawasaki. The second race now starting as the gates fall, and they come sailing out into the lead, and Mike Guerrera on a Husqvarna gets the whole shot. He's followed into that first left-hand turn by Honda's Jim Gibson. Then it's a Yamaha of Marty Tripes as some of the bikes are bobbling, and a Suzuki with Kent Howerton has moved into fourth place. They're coming around now, headed for the sand pits, and into the lead, Gibson taking over. Gibson getting by Guerrera, and now there's a big bottleneck in that turn, and many of the riders are bottled up and cannot get out, but coming out into the lead is Jim Gibson on his Honda bike. Let's take a look now as Gibson comes out of that tornado turn. The Honda bike now roaring with the horsepower, throwing dirt as he springs out into the lead and takes over in this second event. A 10-lap qualifier. 5 men will transfer to the finals. Moving along now, Howerton is holding on to the lead over Tripes, and Gibson has passed Bailey for third position. The bikes are running very rapidly now. It's a 10-lap qualifier, a sweeping left-hand turn that puts them on the fast part of this race course as they zoom up along near the seating in the stadium. A fast part of the race course now over the humps, and it gets a little bit tougher as they zoom around headed for the tornado turn. A motorcycle coming out of nowhere and nearly knocking the leader down, almost getting Guerrera's Husqvarna. A bike in the middle of the race course as the rest of the riders get by. The leader now is down. Guerrera, number 28 on the Husqvarna, has lost the lead. His bike was down. He picked it up, gets it restarted, and gets back into the race. But Kent Howerton, number 4 on a Suzuki, has taken over the lead. Let's look now in slow motion. The leader was number 29, Jim Gibson on a Honda. He hits his front wheel, and it turns his bike clear over in a loop, dropping him down, and a new leader takes over, number 28, Mike Guerrera on his Husqvarna, as that bike shoots out of nowhere, almost taking Guerrera out of the race. But then a moment later, Guerrera makes a miscue, and he falls down, allowing Kent Howerton on the Suzuki number 4 to take over the lead. Back now as the race continues, it's Kent Howerton on the Suzuki with no problem in this race now that they've had the near misses on the racetrack, and the lead has changed 3 times. But now Kent Howerton into the sand pits with motorcycle number 4 holding on to the lead. He comes around now looking for the white flag as he stretches his lead over Marty Tripes on a Yamaha. The checkered flag is up now, and Gibson is in 3rd, followed by Bailey. And the transfer to the final event from this one, number 2, will be Kent Howerton on a Suzuki, Marty Tripes Yamaha mounted. 3rd will be Jim Gibson on a Honda. 4th, David Bailey on a Kawasaki, and Ron Sun on a Honda all make the final event. We'll be back with more after this word. Back at the motocross finals in San Diego, California, the 3rd qualifying heat is on the starting line. All the riders are waiting for the gates to fall. They do fall, and roaring out into the lead is Honda's Chuck Sun. He gets the whole shot in this event, roars down to the end of the racetrack through the hump thumpers and into the Coca-Cola catapult. He's followed by his teammate Steve Wise on a Honda. They are running almost side by side. Chuck Sun trying to hold off his teammate as they go into the sand pit. Very, very close together. Chuck Sun now trying to accelerate as he goes around the berm at the end of the racetrack. Both motorcycles from Team Honda through the slot, and in 3rd position now is Bob Hanna, last year's champion on a Yamaha. This is his first event this year. Here come the 2 Hondas now, almost side by side through the sand pit as we look at them coming through in a repeat. Here they are now with the leader, Chuck Sun, on bike number 63, his teammate number 9, Steve Wise. Now back to live action. Bob Hanna has passed Steve Wise coming into the start area, and here he goes now making that left-hand turn around that tight race course, and he's headed down the fast part of the racetrack. Let's look again as Bob Hanna comes up behind Steve Wise. He goes around on the outside, then cuts him off, shuts the door as he turns around the hay bale and heads around the racetrack. Meanwhile, Chuck Sun still has a 5.5-second lead over Bob Hanna. This again is Hanna's first race this year. He's been out all season with a broken leg. The leader fell down. Chuck Sun on bike 63 lost control of his bike. Bob Hanna gets right behind him and almost catches him. Hanna recovering from a broken leg, which he suffered in a water skiing accident. His first race of the year. Can he come back to his championship form? Bob Hanna trying desperately to catch Chuck Sun. Chuck Sun on the Honda trying to keep Hanna behind him. Hanna bobbling. Hanna clear off his motorcycle. Known as a wild man on this race course sometimes. Other riders having a difficult time getting around the turn. Bob Hanna all over this racetrack doing everything he can to catch the leader, Chuck Sun. Bike riders almost falling down. We're going now for this qualifying event. The white flag comes up, and we still have Chuck Sun in the lead. Bob Hanna dropping back just a little bit now. Looks like he's not going to be able to catch Chuck Sun, who has less than a half lap to go to put himself into the final event in this last race of the year. It's the Honda of Chuck Sun going by slower traffic up into the end of the racetrack now through the rock crunchers, which they've named these bumps at the end of the racetrack, jumping two at a time through the sand pits. He has one more left and a right to go, and he'll pick up a checkered flag, and Bob Hanna has dropped back. He's still in second place, but he is no longer a challenge to Chuck Sun, who brings his red Honda around the right turn to pick up a checkered flag and put himself into the final event. 5 riders will transfer, and the first one out of this one is Chuck Sun on bike number 63. With Sun going to the final is Bob Hanna on his Yamaha, Steve Wise on a Honda, Rex Staten also Yamaha mounted, and Dan Conway on a Honda. We'll be back after this word. We're ready to go. The gate falls and 25 bikes surge down the fast part of the racetrack, and number 29, Jim Gibson on his Honda gets the hole shot. He's followed by his teammate Chuck Sun, and young Donnie Cantalupi is in third place, now moving up into second place as Chuck Sun makes a mistake. So it's Honda and Yamaha as they go into the second turn in this first of 20 laps. The rest of the pack trying to get through the Himalayas and then the sand pits. They're now up into the tornado turn, and as they come around in the lead, it's Jim Gibson on the Honda, followed by Donnie Cantalupi on his Yamaha. The rest of the pack bunching up in that tight turn, allowing the leaders to get away from the rest of the pack, but there's 19 and a half laps yet to go. In the lead, number 29, the Honda of Donnie Hansen, as they now begin to lengthen out their lead and stretch away from some of the rest of the motorcycles. The Honda's now back running first and second as Chuck Sun moves back into second position. It's Honda in the lead down the fast part of the racetrack and around the Coca-Cola catapult. Then over the Himalayas, headed for the sand pit. It's Honda, and then Yamaha as they are in the second lap of 20 laps. Through the treacherous sand pit they go. 2 Yamaha, or rather Hondas, almost side by side. The red machines now coming very close together. Around on the inside is Chuck Sun. Sun strikes his teammate Hansen, almost knocking him down, and Sun takes the lead. And while they bobble, moving into second place is Donnie Hansen on his Yamaha. A near fatal mistake made by the Honda team as Chuck Sun goes underneath his teammate, nearly knocking him off the racetrack. It is now Chuck Sun on bike number 63, the Honda in the lead. Donnie Cantalupi, number 23, on a Yamaha running second. And in third spot is running Jim Gibson, who was nearly run off the race course by his teammate. Trying to lengthen out his lead now is Chuck Sun on Honda number 63, trying to accelerate around this race course. Now comes Donnie Cantalupi, the young lad who's his first year on a factory team. He's trying to maintain second position. He's also trying to catch Chuck Sun. Around the tornado turn again they go. It is Chuck Sun in the lead and Donnie Cantalupi, and now catching up as they bunch up in the turn is Mike Bell on bike number 3. The point leader for the year, trying to win this event and put it away for the season. Bike number 3 on Team Yamaha is Mike Bell running in third position. It's Chuck Sun on the Honda in the lead. Donnie Cantalupi running second as they run down through the infield on part of the roughest of this course. And Cantalupi making a bobble back in there, and moving now into second place is Mike Bell. It's Chuck Sun in the lead, and Mike Bell of Yamaha, Mike Too Tall Bell, 6'3", has moved into second place. They are now up into the Coca-Cola catapult. Mike Bell trying to catch up while the rest of the riders bunching up, and the 2 Suzuki riders crashing into each other. It's Howerton and Barnett crashing into that hay bale near the starting area, almost putting the entire team out. Another rider goes down. That's motorcycle number 11. That's the local rider, Brock Glover from Team Yamaha, favored to win this event. He's down and back in the pack. Meanwhile, Mike Bell putting on a challenge now to Chuck Sun. It's Mike Bell and Chuck Sun. Mike Bell pulling up alongside on the inside. Now going around to the outside, switching back into the tornado turn. They're side by side. and through the slot it's Mike Bell. Mike Bell makes a fantastic pass and pulls off into the lead. It's Michael Too Tall Bell, the point leader for 1980 on the Yamaha, moving into the lead over Chuck Sun's Honda. A fantastic pass in the tornado turn. Mike Bell now in the rough part, the hump thumpers on this racetrack, but Chuck Sun is not out of it yet. They're down near the start area, that tight sweeping left-hand turn, but this is where the Hondas show their horsepower. This is the fastest part of this racetrack, and Chuck Sun is again gaining on Mike Bell. Bell trying to play it cool, trying not to lose control of the bike, being very careful as he heads into the sand pit. Perhaps too careful as Chuck Sun is gaining ground on Mike Bell. Again, they're headed up into the tornado turn, but there's slower traffic up ahead of Mike Bell. Mike Bell has to get by a Kawasaki that's directly in front of him. Can he get by up here on this little short straightaway? Mike Bell now coming around one of the rough parts of the race course, a washboard effect in here. Mike Bell trying to hold off Chuck Sun's Honda. A threat being put on by the red machine. And now a bike loses control. That's David Bailey on bike number 93, the Kawasaki, losing control and throwing his bike off the race course. Bell is bobbling. Bell makes a mistake and Chuck Sun moves back into the lead. Bell almost falling off that motorcycle as he hits a berm and loses control. Chuck Sun on the fast part of the racetrack again, putting distance between his Honda and the Yamaha of Mike Bell. Bell not giving up. Bell now putting on the challenge. He seems to accelerate in the rough part of the course, and the Honda down the long straightaway. They're jumping high now and landing into the sand pit. It's Chuck Sun's Honda in the lead. It's Mike Bell with a fantastic jump, catching right up behind Sun again. Here they are in this tornado turn. Bell's going to try it again. He did it here before, and he does it again. It's Mike Bell pulling that fantastic pass that he does through that tiny slot that has worn into that tight turn in the tornado. And now Sun puts on pressure. Sun trying to get around on the inside. What a fantastic race. The crowd is going berserk. It's Bell trying to hold off the Honda of Chuck Sun. They're side by side, and Chuck Sun now darts off into the lead. The lead is changing twice each lap now between Honda and Yamaha. The two that brought it down to the wire this entire season. The Honda rider number 63, Chuck Sun, and number 3 of Yamaha, who will wear number 1 next year if he puts it away in this event, Mike Bell. Now they're moving up again in slower traffic. Bell trying to out-jump. He does. He's got a half a wheel on Sun through the sand pit. They're back up into slower traffic again, and Mike Bell has taken the lead. He uses the traffic now back into his favorite part of this racetrack on the back fender of a slower rider, but Bell is holding off Sun. There should be a warning flag given. There is a blue move over flag to the slower traffic as Mike Bell is trying to hold off Chuck Sun. This event is going to go to the wire. 20 exciting laps of racing in San Diego Stadium, and it won't be over until the checkered flag waves. An exciting event. Oh, another bobble. This bobble by bike number 63. That's Chuck Sun, who was in second place. He's off his motorcycle. He's killed the engine. One kick and it restarts, but Chuck Sun has dropped back in this event. The white flag is up. There's only one lap to go for Mike Bell, and he does not know that Chuck Sun is no longer in second place. He'll get a signal from his pit crew down near the starting line. They'll put up a chalkboard to tell him Chuck Sun not giving up. Mike Bell has less than a lap to go to put away this final event for the year. He's down in that fast part, the Coca-Cola catapult. He's now headed around over the Himalayas. He's got less than a half a lap to go. He's into the sand pits, and now he's coming around out of the turn, and Mike Bell gets the checkered flag to win this final event at San Diego, California. The bombs are bursting in air, and we're going down to have a quick word with the winner, Mike Bell. Have to be very happy closing out the season as champion and winning the last race here close to home.
Oh yeah, it feels great.
I know you'll want to take that home with you because that trophy says it all. That says first place in San Diego.
Yep. Hopefully lots more too.
Mike, we'll see you next year on the circuit. The final standings in San Diego in first place from Team Yamaha, Michael Too Tall Bell. Second place on a Honda, Donnie Hansen.
Racing legends Ken Howerton, Brock Glover, and Mike Bell are just a few of the Supercross heroes we'll be discovering on our journey down memory lane. I'm your host, Larry Huffman. Don't forget to join us next time as we see Supercross the way it was meant to be seen, on two wheels.